Do you like working with casting directors? And if so, why? And if not, why?
Well, I don't really have a choice. So but the reality is that I do. Some of my close friends are casting directors. People that have gone back with, yes, you being included. People that I've known over 20 years, and we've come up together in the industry, and we have a second hand. I can literally text them and say, "What about?" and just literally give their first name, and they will know who I'm talking about just because of how well we know each other. So yeah, no, I mean, does everyone love everyone? No, of course not. Personalities in this business, but at the end of the day, I think that we're all doing our best. So yeah.
Did you know that in London, the casting directors and agents have to go to see the West End shows together? It's
really?
It's mandatory.
That's a little weird.
I wouldn't care for that. But
okay.
Over there, builds bonds.
Okay. All right.
Trivia for today.
We're realizing we are diving into my question now. So Duncan, what does it look like when you feel passionate about an actor, okay, or but the director or the producer, they just don't see it?
It happens more often than you think.
Okay.
However, I think if you've worked with somebody for a long time, like a creative team, you have this shorthand, so you sort of know their taste.
Okay.
So generally, I like when we're all on the same page. Listen, I know where we sit as casting directors. We're not the director. We're not the choreographer. We're not the music director. We're an integral part of the team, but we're not at the top of this hierarchy.
Okay.
They're the director. If they want A and we want B, okay, it's A. However, what I've learned is, years ago, I used to eat my words when I was younger. Now, when asked, or when I think it's a good time to say it, I'll be like, got it, understood, you like so-and-so. I just want to say, for me and for casting, we like B because of blank, blank, and blank. It's very important as a casting director to have an opinion when asked for and when needed.
Okay.
I know it's a roundabout way of saying it, but yeah, I accept it, right?
Valid answer. I appreciate it.
Cool.
And it's a good reminder. It has absolutely nothing to do with it. This is my attempt at a segue. Not to forget to reach out and tell us your favorite song in your favorite Broadway musical.
Yes.
And now on to my next question.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm putting my glasses on to listen to your question. Okay.
You get to trade jobs with one cast member from the second season of We Were Broadway. So, whose job are you taking on, or what show are you working on?
Oh, Jesus.
Second season.
Of We Are Broadway.
Correct.
Yeah. Remember when the beginning of this, when you said if we can move on to a question,
Plead the fifth.
Skip it? I'm going to skip that one. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. What was the best day of your career, and what was the absolute worst?
The best day of my career thus far, and I really do hope to top it very soon, was when my client at the time, Ali Stroker, won the Tony Award for Oklahoma and thanked me on national television.
They don't always do that.
No, they do not always do that.
What'd you do when you heard that?
Well, my phone blew quite up. Yes, it did. And I cried, and it was pretty great. Yeah.
That's a nice moment. Again, I love it when people acknowledge the work that you do, the work that we do.
Yeah.
You know?
You want to know, what was the worst moment in my career?
Yeah. 3 weeks ago?
No, because that turned out to be actually potentially the best. I would say, I don't know, for some reason my brain is going back to year one as an assistant, sending the wrong person, sending someone the wrong side to their callback and literally not sleeping for 3 days, feeling guilty about it. But that's how you live and learn and get better, by making mistakes and recovering from them.
They fail forward.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Okay, now it's my turn.
Oh, it's your turn, right. Okay.
No, I just asked you that question. It's your turn to ask me.
Oh, right, yes it is. Yes it is. Okay.
Going well.
So, Duncan, with so many evolutions in casting over the years, we hear a lot about body positivity, right?
Yes.
But do creative teams, are they genuinely interested in exploring plus-size actors for romantic leads?
If they're not, they should be. And if they're not, they need to be encouraged to explore that via the casting director.
But do you think that is a marginalized group that will have their day in the way that other marginalized groups have become more in demand for casting?
What do you mean by that?
Where now when you're casting a musical, you're very often people are hoping to find diverse actors, in leading roles. Are we at any point going to include or expand the focus to plus size actors acknowledging them being marginalized?
A, I think we are, and B, we need to do more of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when somebody goes to see a Broadway show or any show, they should see themselves reflected up on that stage, right? So, oh, I see myself out there. I know with Chicago, when working with Barry Weissler and Fran Weissler, like we're exploring plus-size Roxy's, all of that, or Velmas and things like that. I mean, for me, I just feel like every human being that exists within the audience and out in the streets of New York City and elsewhere need to be represented on that stage. And that's critical.
I agree.
And that's not going away.
Yeah.
I think we're actually going to get stronger and stronger and stronger in that. You know what I mean?
I hope so. Yeah.
I think we already see it in love shows.
I think we see it often as comedic relief and best friends. And I don't think we see it often enough as romantic leads.
That's not acceptable.
Yeah, I agree. All right, I'm up.
Okay, here we go.
Terrified, but up. Okay,
here we go. What does a talent manager do? And what Broadway shows have you worked on with clients?
Wow, okay. Well, a talent manager is similar to an agent in that you are responsible for taking care of an actor,
right?
But the care is what I would say is zoomed in for a manager. It's an attention to detail. It's focusing on their full life, their full career,
taking everything in perspective.
Yeah, absolutely, and guiding them and really managing their team and making sure that you're working well with their agents, their publicist, their lawyer, kind of being the glue that holds it all together.
You know what I've always appreciated about you?
Well, yes.
Like, I know you're in this new incarnation. However, you've always worked with your clients in a very sort of leadership kind of role.
Sure.
Like, I feel like whenever I've spoken to you, compared to a lot of like agents or managers I've worked with in the past, you care about the whole big picture. And you are like a proud papa. And if I can, can I say that?
Yeah, you can say that.
I don't want to use the word daddy, I want to use papa.
I appreciate
proud
it. Sure.
Papa.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And not everybody's always like that, so.
I am very proud. And what was the part of the question? Was
what Broadway shows have you worked on with your clients? Probably everyone.
I mean, I like to feel like everyone. I mean,
you're talking about Eden Espinosa and Lempicka.
Yes, I know. I'm working very much on
Robin Herder in Chicago.
Robin Herder in Chicago. Eden Espinosa and Lempicka, and Keisha Lewis in Hell's Kitchen. Yes, absolutely. All right, we have some questions from the audience. This is where the glasses come in. Okay. How did you get started as a casting director? And apparently, how did I get started as an agent/manager?
I got started through luck, chance, opportunity, through Elaine Eldaffer.
Love Elaine.
Yeah, love Elaine.
Shout out to Elaine.
Playwrights Horizons. She's my guardian angel in New York City. I've always said that.
Yeah.
She asked me to be a reader.
Okay.
And then she said to me, you're really good at being a reader because you don't pull focus from the actor who's auditioning, but you give them everything to play with, so they can come back and do their best work. Yeah. She once said to me at that point, after being a reader a few times, have you ever thought about sitting on this side of the table?
Yeah.
And I hadn't. I did. And that started my career as a casting director. Yeah. Okay. I came down from Canada.
Yeah.
Literally, in 3 months, worked under the table. I worked in a flower shop, moved all of that. I found my niche, my career via Elaine Eldaffer. So whole thanks for every day for that.
Yeah. And I started off as an actor, and then found my way being brought into an agent's office by a friend of mine who was an actor, just to in hopes that I might get represented, and then somehow ended up getting an internship, and that really was the beginning of everything.
Paid or unpaid?
I think unpaid, but I loved it so much that I would go in on the weekends and vacuum, because I literally just wanted to contribute. And loved it so much that I just wanted my boss to come in on Monday and see his desk organized and clean.
It's like WME in the nail trenches,
I don't know. I was in love with it. I just knew once I got into that, I was like, oh my God, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's amazing when we fall into jobs we love and still love.
Yes, absolutely. Should we grab another question from the audience?
Yes. Should I ask you?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
I mean,
how does the legacy robe thing work?
Don't ask me that. That's not
plead the fifth.
Yeah, pleading the fifth. Yeah.
Obviously, we don't really know.
I mean,
we can Google it.
Actually, one of those things I was going to look up recently because I was like, I should know this, and I don't.
I don't really know how it works either.
Apologies. I'm not even going to guess because we're going to sound stupider. So just keep.
Apologies. Yeah. Okay. How do you cast swings? I'm looking at you.
First of all, I'm going to skip that because I wouldn't have asked you that. That's an audience.
It's an audience question.
To respect and apologize.
I will say this.
How do you cast swings?
very carefully, very judiciously. I think the swing is the hardest role to cast. They have to be multi-talented.
Yeah.
They have to have an ease and a way of working that I don't have. I'd be way too panicked.
The swing brain should be studied, I think.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
seriously, like if they took out Einstein's brain and explored it, they should
Yeah.
do the same thing with swings
I
100
agree.
years from now.
Absolutely.
The most vital person in the show is your swing.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of times swings want to get out of that role, and I understand it because they want to be seen in a different context and
Yeah.
go off of that. But also, too, I know a lot of swings who love it and are basically like career swings.
Bless.
All right, should we, look at that. 3 audience questions, and we're done with that.
Okay. All right. Should we go into your questions?
Sure.
Some say, even if you aren't right for a role, you should just go in and like wow the casting director, and they'll remember you for something else. Is that true, or do you resent them and feel like you're wasting my time? You're not right for this.
I have lots to say about that.
Okay. I'm gonna drink wine while he does that.
When actors say at the beginning, I'm not right for that,
Yeah.
who says? Because you may come in
Right.
and give us a portrayal of the role that we haven't thought of before, and you're right. I think of like Rachel Bay Jones and Pippin. We were looking for ingenues to be with Pippin. 21 to 23. Rachel Bay Jones walks in and she gives a single mom, mid-30ish, which actually then led to, if you can have her playing Catherine, why can't you have Andrea Martin playing a cougar grandmother, right?
Yeah.
So you coming in, maybe playing against the grain of what's in the breakdown, could be life-changing, career changing.
Okay.
I tend not to resent too many people in the industry. I hate when I go to panels and people are like, what's your pet peeve?
I hate
What
that
song do
question
you
too.
hate?
Yeah.
How about focusing on the positive?
Exactly. I
Right?
agree.
So I don't resent actors. And also too, this is slightly off track, but crashing auditions.
Okay.
If it's how you do it. If you're obnoxious, goodbye. But if you want to be seen, you may be the person that I'm looking for that arrived 5 minutes late or 10 minutes, whatever. Again, I like to see as many actors as possible. I keep the whole pie open.
Yeah.
Makes sense, the pie open. You get what I mean. I just feel like it's better to be open and feel generous than to be the opposite.
I agree.
God, I'm like my father. I talk a lot. Question for you.
Next question. All right.
Go on.
Terrifying.
How do you
Yes.
determine who to represent?
Wow. Well, what's interesting is that has evolved over the last month as I have transitioned from agent to manager.
Right.
Because there are so many more actors that I would say, yes, they'd be a great ad. They'd be a great client, for an agent or for our agency, in the past. But now I'm choosing to go on X number of journeys. At the moment, 10 or so, and I may not go on more than 15. I don't know, but
Cool.
and so if I'm going to choose 15 journeys to go on, I'm just making up that number,
Yeah.
I wanted to be a little bit more, a little less, but like they have to be something I'm so passionate about, and people I want to be in my life, and that I want to talk to all the time, who are going to want to talk to me all the time, and so it's more personal, it's more intimate, and more invested.
How many clients, roughly? I'm sort of curious.
Yeah.
My question.
Yeah.
An agent has what, 200 clients versus a manager who may have 15 to 30?
An agent likely is sharing anywhere from 150 to 250 clients with 1 to 2 other agents. That's a rough estimate of New York agencies.
Okay, got it.
But yes, we previously had around 250 clients that 3 agents were covering, and that was a pretty good ratio for coverage. So yeah, very different than a manager that has anywhere from a few clients to maybe 20 or 30, but really not more than that.
So it's more bespoke managers, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, I would definitely say so.
Can I ask you a question? So this is another question here.
Sure, yeah, of course, yeah.
When you were an agent, did you like working with managers? And now as a manager, how do you feel about working with agents?
I loved working with managers,
Yeah.
which is why I think I was so jealous and wanted to be one of them.
Uh-huh.
I was always so jealous of how much more hands-on they got to be with the clients and all of the direct. They seemed more just on the scene in a way that I wasn't able to be because I had so many clients.
Volume.
Yeah. What's the second part of the question?
And do you like now working with like?
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, most of my clients currently, I am in the process of placing with agents.
Right.
So I have limited exposure collaborating with them because it's a brand new venture.
Right.
But I love a lot of agents that I'm friends with and look forward to working with so many. Yes.
I would hope that if you were an actor, and you have an agent and a manager working for you, the team would get along. Not always that happens, but
that is the absolute goal and the hope, because when they don't, it's problematic for everyone involved.
Yeah. Sometimes I like going to the manager as opposed to the agent to get the facts, because sometimes the answer is quicker than the agent. Just saying it here live.
Yeah.
Not all the time.
That can be the case. Yeah. Except, of course, when I was an agent, then I'm sure the information was quicker.
Oh my God, I'm like, stop calling me.
Yes.
Sort of true.
Are we up to the next question? Where are we? I don't even know.
I asked you, how do you determine how you represent?
Okay. Oh, how many chances do you feel like you give an actor? And what I mean by that is, like, if they come in and bomb once, okay, and then again, twice, at one point are you like, I'm good, I don't need to explore them again?
Oh God, I'm gonna sound like Pollyanna here. Even that word bomb.
Yeah.
What does that mean? I mean, okay.
Bomb means that they weren't just not right for the role, but that they gave a poor audition.
Listen, sometimes you have people that come into the room who are phenomenal, and there's an alchemy there, and they can have 7 false starts. Is that a bomb? I guess maybe it is, but that person can still get the job because there's a chemistry in the room. Another person can come in and do something absolutely perfectly and not get the job because there wasn't that synergy.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm generous. There's a few actors that I know, things are going on in their lives, they come in and they don't do their best work.
Sure.
I'm the kind of guy that does actually phone the agent or the manager, or sometimes if I know the actor, I'm like, listen, last time you came in, what was going on for you?
Right.
And I tend to be one of these people like, let's bolster your spirits.
Yeah.
Let's get you back into the room in fighting shape. Also, too, I just want to say about bombs, right? You come in and you're not right from one show. But as you well know, I'm casting a multitude of shows.
Yeah,
I know Raynald Dafoe is casting a multitude of shows. If you're not right for our show, you may be right for another show that we're casting, or another show that a casting director, colleague of mine is casting.
Okay.
I don't know about bombs. I don't know. So terminology for me.
Yeah. Fair enough. So, okay, this is a very, very niche question, which I'm very curious to hear your answer, mostly because I don't have a good one. What makes some shows go up as limited runs and others as open-ended runs? I mean, other than what I would say the obvious is money. Because at the end of the day, if something is going to be open-ended because they hope to make a profit, they hope that they're going to be a successful, profitable show.
Yes.
I imagine in some instances with limited runs, they are not always expecting a big profit. And then maybe it's more of an artistic adventure, or they have a subscription base. I don't know. I mean, I'm curious what.
Off the top of my head, I think it is to do with money. Listen, a lot of times limited runs, the theater owner says, well, you have this theater, or you can have this theater for 6 months or for 5 months, but then it goes to blank show.
Yeah.
And those producers are like, okay, great. I'm fine with limited run. It's a play, whatever. And I'm going to get my.
Just you feel like the audience maybe has a limited capacity.
Correct.
It's okay.
Correct. Or in the case, like, for instance, like, Othello right now with Denzel Washington and also Jake Gyllenhaal that we're casting, it has a limited run because Denzel's not going to stay a year on Broadway. They've got films to do, money to make.
Okay. All right. Should we go on to one more questions?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, I'm going to do. Here's one here.
Okay.
How can a person learn to be a producer?
I don't know. Ask a producer. No, how can we be a producer? I don't really know the answer to that, other than, interning with a producer, and the way that everyone in this business kind of gets in by learning from the ground up.
I know that the Broadway League, but also too, CTI, Commercial Theater Institute, used to have a Broadway producing seminar weekend every year. I have to double check if they have this. And also too, they have a 13-week course, so we can actually, if you get into this 13-week course, you speak to producers, you talk to producers, and you learn the trade of producing. There's a lot of good books out there, actually, about being a producer. I just will say this.
Okay.
There's a difference, in my mind, between an investor producer and a producer producer. I'll use Barry Weiss as an example. Absolutely. Okay. I learned what to do when I worked in-house with Barry Weiss. Why? Because that man is a showman. He is like a gentleman of the theater. He has chutzpah and ideas that maybe perhaps younger producers just don't have, because he's old school. He knows how to get out there. He knows how to pass out flyers in Times Square, the big ideas, the small ideas, the outlandish ones. I think a producer, he's the glue. He picks the creative team, puts it all together. It's amazing when you have a good producer, how things run smoothly. And when you maybe have an inexperienced producer, things may be a little teetery.
Fair
And
enough.
also, I will say this, it's not about money.
Yeah.
I've worked with producers before that have oodles of cash, but don't understand what we do.
Yeah.
And if they don't understand what we do and don't want to understand because they think money's gonna, buy everybody, that's not the way it works on Broadway.
I like that.
Check it out online, these 2 courses, CTI, as you said, intern or being an apprentice at a producing office.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them out there and they're good.
Duncan,
Uh-oh.
and yes, I'm going to upstage you the way you've been upstaging me for most of the evening. What's the most memorable audition tape or audition experience that you've had?
Oh gosh. The most memorable. Let me think about this for a second. God. Can you remember one more time the self-tape, right? What does it say?
What? I love it. What is the
Too much
most
wine.
memorable audition tape or audition experience that you've had? I mean, so many, I imagine. It's hard to.
There are tons. I will say this, that when I was working on, I'm still working on A Wonderful World. It's a story about Louis Armstrong, but it's told through the visions. Well, of course, there was a client of yours on our show.
Yeah.
Seeing these women do the sides, talk about Louis Armstrong, the script was great, it is great, and singing these songs, the tapes made me weep.
Oh.
There's too many to mention. There is,
Yeah.
there's the self-tape of a woman who used to be in ballet who wrote me, and can I please come do it because I want to do Broadway. I'm too ballet, and 6 months later she's in New York City and she sends a self-tape in, and all of a sudden she's working on her dancing, and it makes me, goosebumps.
So Clemens.
It does. I know it sounds
Okay.
crazy. If I didn't have that though,
Yeah.
I'd be, and if I had a jaded sense of what I do, then I get out of the industry. I need to experience goosebumps.
Yeah.
I need to weep. I need to be able to say, and I do to my partner who's a scientist, Mo, come and look at this. What is this? He's a French scientist. And he's like, oh, I see what you mean.
I have the same way with my anesthesiologist partner.
Look at us.
I know, exactly. Yes.
There's some play in that. I mean, let's get Christopher Durang, but he's no longer here.
Yes. Question from the audience. How often are you finding talent on social media like TikTok and Instagram and tips for standing out? I will give you my answer. So
Sure.
we could probably be
Yeah.
different. I, obviously, like many other middle-aged people, discovered TikTok during the pandemic and really love that all of a sudden I had access to so many talented people, like literally singing in their living rooms.
Yeah.
And I became obsessed with one and started a dialogue with her and started sending her auditions, and she ended up moving from Indiana and is now here in New York and fighting the good fight. And she's killing it. So it can totally happen. It doesn't happen a ton, but I think it does certainly happen. What about in your line of work?
I'm lucky because I have a big staff, and they're a lot younger than me.
Yes.
And I think it's funny because you discovered TikTok during the pandemic. I can tell that I'm almost 56 because I tell people I discovered poetry and haiku in the pandemic. I feel like a nun here tonight, but whatever.
Tell us more about your journey
My
with
young,
haiku.
oh my God, I'm gonna pour us all the tears.
Okay.
My young staff, they're all up on it. They know everything. They come to me. I'll say, who is this? Mark Brandon in the office, who is this? They will tell us. Standing out. Here's the thing. Social media is important. We all look at it. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, et cetera, et cetera. What you put out there better be good. Better be good.
Yeah.
Better be unique. And listen, I'm like, work on your craft. Let that stand out as opposed to how do I be wacky and stand out?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do. Related question is, how important is the social media presence, and are websites helpful? And my running joke is that I've never met an actor that had an updated website, that I've never gone to an actor's website and seeing their resume and knowing their resume, been like, that's the most recent credit.
That's insane.
Usually, I have gone to clients' websites and been like, your former representation is still on there. It's been 2 years. It's been 4 years. It's been 6 years. You know, and so like
You had the wrong bio
I
10
know.
minutes ago. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
But yeah, so I think that honestly, take charge of your online presence.
Yes.
Meaning that nothing should be out there that you're not super proud of.
Agreed.
Like, if there is a clip of you singing and you have control over that clip, and you would not want to put it in front of Duncan and Tara Rubin and Bernie Kelsey,
Yep.
then you should take it down. I don't care if you think the first part's really good, but the second part's not. It's like, nope, take it down. And then when it comes to websites, I think at the very least it should just be your photo and how to reach you, and not a ton of other information. You know, and maybe if you're unrepresented, sometimes it's a little bit different, because then you want to have those materials to kind of get represented. But I would say if you are, chances are you really want that to be a dialogue between your representative and the casting director, not what they have just opened and clicked on, and have that be all that, you know, what they get to see first.
I agree with you. I think on a website or any kind of presence, less is more.
Yeah.
It has to be good, which is what I said to a question earlier.
Yeah.
As casting directors, it's all fast and furious. Who is this person? Okay, let's see. Where we bring them in, you look at the picture, odd picture or good picture. You look at a link and you're like, okay, vocal. In the first 8 bars, it's pitchy or whatever like that.
Yeah.
That can make or break the deal right there. I just will say one of the things about non-updated websites.
Yeah.
If you're a young actor, great, get your website up, but don't obsess about it. Some people are like more obsessed about their presence online and their website than they are about getting the room and auditioning for folk. So there's a healthy balance. Sometimes I think the resumes, the websites are not updated because the actors are working and they don't get around to it, and that's okay too.
Yeah. Yeah. What stands
We've
out?
got a good thing going here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There's this chemistry.
You know what I don't know?
No.
I don't know anything. What stands out about an actor in a room?
Many different things. I will go back to chemistry and alchemy in the room, and energy, a confidence. What I mean by confidence, you're there to audition. It's not a performance, it's an audition. There needs to be an ease there. Yes, there needs to be craft. That's a given, right? I mean,
Yeah.
But I guess the overall arch for me in that question would be, whether it be an actor, a singer, or a dancer, I want to know there's something going on behind the eyes of that human.
Yeah.
And I also want to know that there's a story going on.
Yeah.
Dancers aren't just dancing, like they're not just executing moves. There's something behind that. Actors, yeah, for me, that's what I'm looking for in the room. A real human being who has a story behind their eyes, maybe a secret behind their eyes, who has a chemistry and ease, and craft is a given.
I think one of my acting teachers at NYU used to say, work with secrets. I was like, and anytime I have a client getting a headshot,
Yes.
I always say that to them.
Oh, that's
kidding. I'm always like, work with secrets. Yeah, I have a secret.
But I actually will say, there's one casting director out there who has this great advice, who does say to actors going in for their headshots, as opposed to just like trying to fake smile, like think of your grandmother in one, or think of your, your first Christmas that you remember as a kid. Yeah. That'll actually invoke a mood that will give something behind your eyes that a fake stare into the camera's lens will not, give you the opportunity to.
Great.
I'm going to read one.
Oh, okay, yes, back to ours.
Who do you think will win in the major categories in this year's Tony Awards?
Wow, Duncan. Who do I think will win?
Yeah, will it? Will it to be?
Will it to be? I'm going to be super selfish, and I am going to will that by clients, starting with Tony-nominated Eden Espinosa for La Chica is going to win for Best Leading Actress in a Musical, and I'm going to will that my client Keisha Lewis is going to win for Best Featured for her performance in Hell's Kitchen.
Look at you with this brand new company, this new start, and already you're like talking Tony Award nominees.
Stop. Go on.
I mean, that's great. Okay, another question for you. I'm just going to flip it.
Yes.
Oh, let's just see. Oh, yes, this is a good one.
Okay.
Have you ever had to let a client go? And without naming any names, what types of reasons get you dropped from management?
Ooh, well,
that's a hard one.
I'm going to answer that from the framework of an agent, as I have former experience. as an agent where I would have actually have let someone go.
Okay.
I haven't let anybody go in the last 4 weeks as a manager. And
This is a serious question.
Yeah.
I'm drinking a serious
Yes,
glass of
absolutely.
wine.
You know, when you have to let go of an actor, it is heartbreaking. It is, especially if it's someone that you've represented for a while. You know, there's a relationship there, and you know that they're relying on you in many ways for their livelihood. You know, their dreams are often wrapped up in the work that you're doing, and so you are, in so many ways, really giving an abrupt shake-up to their professional life, and so we take it very seriously. And I try to go back to that place of like, there are things that either work or don't work. And it's not about good or bad. It's like you can be a brilliantly talented actor and it's just not working. And that might mean that maybe we're not the right team. Right? Maybe like whatever it is, it's not moving forward. So you need a fresh pair of eyes. And so but that's what we will do from time to time is have to, you know, make those very hard decisions.
Have you ever let an actor go and then rehire them back to your roster?
I have not had that experience. I hear that does happen.
Mm.
I think it's a little strange, but you know, open to it. Yeah.
As a casting director, I've certainly had actors in shows of mine that have been let go that I rehire for another show. It's a different sort of angle.
We are at the point in the evening where we are going to announce the winner of the contest, who gets tickets to Moulin Rouge.
That's an amazing show.
Yes, it is. Which my client Robin Herder was nominated for a Tony for. It's currently starring in Chicago.
Dropping.
Yes.
But do it. Robin Herder is currently in.
This is the name of the person that has won the contest.
Okay.
Yes.
So how are we going to say this? Here we go. It is, let's do it together.
It is.
And the winner is Gotham Tomato. I want to see that TikTok. Gotham Tomato, if you have a TikTok, email me.
Yes.
Get in touch with us.
Yes. And we're not being punked. Not even a little bit. No.
But it's got to be a handle, right?
Okay. Yeah.
We're not at the end of our evening, I hope.
No, I think we may be wrapping it up.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But it's been so much fun.
Jed,
yes.
I've always adored you as a human being.
Yes.
You're fun, you're generous, you're boisterous, and you know what you want. You got an opinion. I love that about you.
I greatly appreciate that. Yes, and I respect your work as a casting director for
it's a love fest.
I know, it's absolutely. And so I guess for that's it. That's all we have.
This has been an incredible experience. So thanks to everybody here in this
room. Thank you all so much.
Behind all this. This ring light is huge.
Huge.
We've been treated well, wine, etc.,
yes.
etc. 2 kitty cats. Imagine that.
Yes.
And thank you.
Good night all.
Good night all.